Ashhadu anna Muhammed Rasulullah. He's not said it. But the way he behaves, you'd think he understood it. And the one who says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammed Rasulullah, has said it. But the way he behaves, you'd think he's never said it in his life. And in Islamic history, we've had Muslims who have been the stingiest of human beings. And in Islamic history, we met non-Muslims who were the most generous of human beings. Who deserves to be in 313? The non-Muslim or the Muslim? Al-Mansur al-Dawaniqi poisoned Imam al-Sadiq. He was the most stingy Khalifa of Banu Abbas. But every day he would say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad. But the most stingy Khalifa you will ever come across. Do you know how stingy he used to be? Many of you would have heard the story of his stinginess involving poetry. His stinginess with poetry. He would say to everybody, if you've got a poem, come and recite the poem in front of me. But when you recite that poem, if somebody in my court has heard it, then I can't reward you. But if nobody has heard it, I'll reward you the weight of the paper you've written it on. Muslim. What he used to do, he used to have two of these people. You know those people, they hear one thing, they memorize it straight away. Not like photographic memory, like a listening memory. They used to stand on the side. He used to have a day, okay, all poets come, recite what you want. He tells them, are you ready? They say, we're ready. Okay, recite what you want. The poet would come and he'd say, for example, some words in Arabic. He'd say, let me ask someone in my courtroom, is there anybody else who's heard this? His two people would come out, they say, yes, we've heard this. They'd say it. He'd say to him, I'm sorry, I can't give you anything. Go. One day, Al-Asma'i came. Al-Asma'i was one of the great poets. So he came. He said, I have a piece of poetry. He said, what is it? Say it. He looked at those two. You ready? Yes, we're ready. He said it. And he started talking like that. But of course, he spoke it in proper Arabic, but so complex that nobody's ever heard such words in their life. Now Mansour's looking, thinking, I've never heard of this before. He was looking at the two of them and they're like... So he said to him, very well, give me the paper you wrote the poem on. He said, I didn't write it on a paper. So he said, so what did you write it on? He said, that big black rock over there, I carved the poem. Mansour couldn't sleep for about a week. Because the stingy human being doesn't win in this world and he doesn't win in the hereafter. He doesn't win here because he doesn't enjoy it. And in the hereafter, the stingy don't go anywhere. Here you notice a Muslim publicly, but stingy. Then you have Hatam al-Ta'i, Christian, but so generous. That when his daughter Safana was caught by Rasulullah in the battle, when Rasulullah asked, who is that lady? They said to him, it's the daughter of Hatam al-Ta'i. He said, release her. Why? Her dad was a Christian. Why should we release? Her dad's generosity is unparalleled in Arabia. That when we talk of generosity, we all say, Hatam al-Ta'i is the man of generosity. Notice when Rasulullah said a non-Muslim who is generous is more beloved to Allah than a Muslim who is stingy. He is showing that, look, when it comes to each of us who are on the earth, the prophets or the imams, don't think because you are born into a religion you deserve to be with us. Sometimes it's the ones who aren't born but have the values of a religion. When they meet us, they'll come to us and say to us, we will follow you wherever you go. Then Rasulullah, another hadith, a non-Muslim leader who is just is more beloved to Allah than a Muslim leader who is oppressive. When Rasulullah's religion was in danger, didn't he send the Muslims to a priest in Abyssinia? Didn't he send Ja'far ibn Abu Talib to a priest? And he said the priest is a man of justice, the priest is a man of humility. Go and visit him, for he is a man who will help you. When Rasulullah did this, why did he do this? He could have easily sent to somebody else. But he said that Christian, you may see him saying what? You may see him believing in Jesus, but he has the values of God in the way he's behaving. And therefore he is a non-Muslim who is just. He's more beloved than a Muslim leader who is oppressive. Tell me, Yazid ibn Muawiyah used to say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. He did. Let's say he did. But wasn't he oppressive? Yes, he was. Whereas Najashi may not have said Muhammad Rasulullah, but the way he acted, he straight away said Muhammad Rasulullah. Because that same Najashi converted to Islam. When he converted to Islam, he read the nikah of Rasulullah with Habiba. Notice. Therefore, when we talk of this utopia, the builders right now are not all Muslims. The builders right now are any human being who is seeking to promote godly values on earth. Because when that human being sees the Imam reappear, he'll be with him, alongside him straight away. The question arises, you said that there is a utopia, but shaitan is going to be present. While shaitan is present, there can be no happiness. You're right. Shaitan whispers in us. He deceives us. But according to our narration, shaitan's life will be ended by the Imam of our time. Surah 15 verse 36. God says to shaitan that we are going to punish you, but we will put you with them until the day they are raised. Some people think the day they are raised means the day of judgment. The day they are raised is when the Imam rises. Then shaitan is to appear. Why? Because the world order of Dajjal is shaitan's order. So he has to lead them. And this Imam in ziyarah, what do we say? Assalamu alayka ya sahib al-asr wal-zaman, Khalifat al-Rahman, Sharik al-Quran, Ka'bat al-Iman, Imami wa Imam al-Insi wal-Jan. He's the Imam of the humans and the jinn. So there is good jinn and there is bad jinn. Shaitan is of the good or the bad? The bad. So the good jinn will be with the Imam and the bad jinn will be against the Imam. And so shaitan will be finished. Shaitan and his soldiers, according to our beliefs, when the Imam rises, he'll finish shaitan. Someone will say, okay, shaitan is finished, but this self that we have, it's still around. I agree. This self that we have, as Nabi Yusuf said, or within Surah Yusuf it says, I won't make excuses for myself because it loves to go towards sin. No doubt. This self, if we don't discipline it, it can be the most sinful creation. True? If you let it go, it will be the most sinful of creations. But our role, of course, is to discipline the self. We know that there is a self which is lawama, a self which is ammara, and a self which is mutma'inna. Our role is to try and find a self that is mutma'inna. The question arises that if I, this insignificant human being, this dirty human being, if I am now with this self which isn't that disciplined, what difference will the Imam's government make or the Imam's presence? The Imam is the connection between the heavens and the earth. Therefore, he is the one who opens the insight as to the way you discipline the self better than anybody else. There is a narration, please listen to this narration. Our fourth Imam is in a discussion with a man called Abu Khalid al-Kabuli. Our fourth Imam says, now listen to what type of people are going to try and build this utopia. Our fourth Imam says to Abu Khalid al-Kabuli, he says, oh Abu Khalid, do you know that the nation who believe in the 12th Imam will be the best of nations Allah has created? So he says to him, why? He said, because they believe in an Imam who they cannot see, but they have faith of his reappearance. Then listen to these lines. He says that these people, Allah will confer on them an increase in their intellect, an increase in their insight, and an increase in their knowledge, to the extent that that which cannot be witnessed by the eye will be witnessed by the eye. That we will reach a level within this utopian government with the presence of the Imam that our intellect will increase and our insight will increase and our knowledge would have increased to a level where that which cannot be witnessed by the naked eye would be witnessed. Someone says that may be literal or metaphorical. Literal in which way? Literal microscope. Can I witness some of the things I see in the microscopes today? The naked eye cannot. The intellect has developed to a level where I could see that which I couldn't see. Someone say it might not be literal, and maybe it may even be metaphorical, that this eye which doesn't see through the veils between it and its lords, suddenly the secrets of Allah begin to open up for this eye. The human being will reach a level in their intellect and in their insights and in their knowledge known as aql and afham and ma'rifah, where that which cannot be seen, they will be able to see it. What do we mean? It means the human being will reach a level of intellect where they have the insight to be tolerant of all the people who surround them. Tolerance isn't something you gain easily. But the Imam says that the ones who rise with me, they will have reached a level of intellect and